All right, we're recording. Mr. Gustavo Badell, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How's your Sunday?
Sunday, fantastic. I have my kids because they summer school and they're on vacation. They stay with me for 1 month, which is I love every day.
Okay. Now we were talking before we started recording that you came here from Vegas. Is that where they're still at, or?
Yeah, I was in Vegas for almost 10 years since I was competing there since 2004 to 2012. I moved out from Puerto Rico, the island, to Las Vegas, and then Las Vegas, I moved out to Florida, to Orlando, exactly.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. I've been here. Well, I've lived here my whole life, but the last 5 years, the freaking Rican has been at my back door. I can't believe that.
We made it. Sure. As people say, they ask the same question and say, "Hey, man, I work every day. And, I've been doing this all my life. Even competing in the Miss Olympia, I compete 8 times Miss Olympia, and always working with people. I'm always, before become pro, I'm always being a coach and a trainer. That's what I do, full-time job for me. So I'm still doing the same thing. I don't have time to gossip, to talking. I'm just making what I know.
And well, you got the beard now and the glasses, so you're like Clark Kent. Yeah.
I'm Clark Kent. I want to be Superman.
Yeah.
The thing is, just I always use glasses. I have astigmatism since a kid, and before I have contact, but I don't like contact lens no more. So no bothers me. And the beard, yeah, why not? Yes, I look different,
Now I was reading some articles on you, and you got started early in weightlifting, huh? I think it said you were 15.
Yeah, almost 16.
Almost 16.
I was a boxer.
A boxer, yeah. I saw the boxing too. And I was that back in Puerto Rico.
Yes, I was boxing, and I joined to the gym just to looking for get more strength, and when I heat in and everything, and I noticed that my arms get bigger and my bicep pump. I said, "Oh shit, I like this. I want to stick this." And then my boxing training said, "Don't, you're no bodybuilder, you're boxer. You have to do a lot of reps and blah blah blah." I said, "No." When I do it in the style, you notice when there's a lot of kids, they start lifting weights in a couple of weeks, you see differences because they have good genetic. That's why that happens to me, especially with my arms, my shoulders. Grow up really, really, really fast, and I start doing it. Naturally until 18, 19, that I start competing in bodybuilding. Yeah.
Now, did you find that you had to, like, I know your training had to change extreme. How about your diet? Did you have to eat a lot more?
When I was
when you went from boxing to bodybuilding?
Oh yes, for sure. For sure. As a boxer, you're eating just normal food. I mean, you're eating a lot of carbs before training or something, but it's just you're like a normal people. In the past, it's just the athlete, they don't have those structures about eating too much, 5, 6, 7 meals, all those things. At that time, it's just 3 meals and sometimes snack if you're lucky. But other than that, that's enough. Coaches, they don't want to gain too much weight. Even boxing is just, if you less weight and you still having the strength and the mobility and flexibility, that's why you become the best, best discipline. That's why you see people, they always losing weight like weeks before going to fight. When you're going to fight, that's why they need to weigh in. They weigh in because it's just always, it's like a bodybuilding. They have a weight class. And you have to suffering because they say you don't want to go really heavy, because if you go heavy, you got to go with another, weight class, and probably those people, they stronger than you or whatever. Most of the bodybuilder and boxing, we have the same pretty much weight limits. So
yeah.
In our position as a boxer is different. It's totally different. You're eating just what you need to eat to keep energy level, resistance, and everything else. But about muscles and everything else, it's not important. Actually, it's just totally opposite on bodybuilding.
Mhm. Now, when you were, you said you were 19 when you started bodybuilding. How much did you weigh when you started?
One's 182, 183, competing 176, 174.
Okay.
I was my first show was I was a middleweight, and
Okay.
I wasn't the top of the middleweight. I was like 168, 170. That
Okay.
was start doing bodybuilding, and I was like this like a couple years, 3 years, and then jump into light heavy. It was
Mhm.
little by little, was increasing,
Mhm.
my weight class.
Yeah. Now, fast forward for a second. Before you retired, what was your stage weight?
250 to 60 around.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still 220. I'm still doing exercise.
Yeah.
I still training myself, and it's just I love to work out. It's just kind of things that make me feel like always in control of myself and everything. Actually, I have a some I mean, happens to me one or two Olympia. They're always competing, and it actually was 2004 Miss Olympia. I got third place, and right after, day after the Miss Olympia, everybody else just eating and doing things, and I was in the middle. And the first time in the morning, I was doing my training and cardio, and I was Jim Manuel was there, and he asked me, "What are you doing here? You're supposed to be celebrating and stuff." I said, "That's what I have to do. I'll need to come down and work out before do anything else."
Mhm.
And this is me. This is a passion that I have
Mhm.
for the sport. It's no ego. What I did was great, and I love it, and I enjoy every minute as a bodybuilder professional level.
Mhm.
But I have a passion too. Before being there, I was coach, I was trainers. I'm still doing the same thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
It
Mhm.
just have a good career, great career, and I love it. But I'm still loving bodybuilding. I still, want to go training, do my squats, doing my lifting weights, my cardio, eating good because I enjoy it.
Mhm. Now it says here in 1991 you won your first bodybuilding championship. That was NPC.
No, that was regional.
That was regional. Do you still remember that?
Yeah, I started competing. I don't know. I don't remember that. I don't have too much memories of
Mhm.
I remember I won a couple of NPC shows, but for me, I was at that time, bodybuilding was real difficult on the professional level. Actually, nationals was really, really difficult to be national top 10.
Mhm.
We're talking about the 90s, and so I went to the Caribbean Championship, which is living in Puerto Rico was easier for me. Go for the Central American Championship, go to the um, uh, the islands shows, and that was easier for me at that time. So that's why I qualified many shows NPC, but at the end, I just competing on the Caribbean Championship. That's why I become pro in 1996 in Trinidad and Tobago, competing
Mhm.
for Puerto Rico and Central American Championship.
Mhm. I'll tell you, you've got some amazing stage shots, and the people just don't realize how the talent that you went against. I mean, I think your 2000 was it 2007 Olympias when you were behind Jay Cutler, or was that
Was
2005?
2004, 2005. I did third place. Ronnie got first, Jay second. I was behind, Jay.
Mhm.
2004, 2005, 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I wonder if you have a picture of that in here or not.
Uh, I guess there's some pictures over there. There's some
Yeah.
pictures.
Well, here's a this one looks like it's a
That was a pre-judging. I think it was
prejudging. Yeah,
2005 Miss Olympia.
yeah.
Me, Jay, and Ronnie. We after press conference, we step on stage and do a little bit,
Mhm.
a little bit of what we have for the show. And
Yeah. So I got to ask you this: when you first saw Ronnie Coleman, what did you think? Did you think, you know what, I think I can take this guy, or did you think there's just no way?
I never think about nobody.
No.
I bar, I do my things, and I don't take the wrong way. It's not about ego. It's about
Mhm.
self confidence. I mean, I was trying to. Always in my life, I wanted I don't know if it happens to you, but I'm a competitor. I did boxing, I did Muay Thai, I did a lot of different sports. And when I doing bodybuilding, I was just training hard, and I always respect Ronnie, I always respect Jay, and everybody else. It's just that I never think about anybody else is unbeatable. I'm a fighter. I'm hungry. I'm a new blood in the sport. I want to win. Why not? Oh, those guys bigger than me. Okay, bigger is some word, but it's not always better. That's why my mentality. People take me wrong way. They say, "Oh, Gustavo is cocky." We say, "No, I'm not. I'm confident. I work hard. I get up I get up every day and train twice a day, eating all my calories, doing everything that I have to do to go to the show to win. If I don't win, which is I lost many shows before getting to the Olympia qualification, nobody asked me those days what happens to me. Why are you asking me, what if you're going to do a show? I want to win. And I got the last position, but I say, okay, I keep doing it. I keep doing it. I keep working out. I keep, and until we start making qualification for the Olympia. And every time that I go to the Olympia, I say, okay, Ronnie is the bigger guy on stage. He's huge, shredded, definition, everything. Well, I train to do better. Well, probably his tricep doesn't look like that good. His abs, his abdominal doesn't look that good. And he's not perfect. He's huge. He's humongous. But I got my own thing. So I got my waistline is smaller. My abs and serratos are more beautiful. My tricep is really good. Actually, I beat Ronnie Coleman in the side tricep and challenge round. Why did that happen? Because I look good too. And I said, I'm a kind of, I don't know if probably not too many people knows this, but I'm a kind of autism. I don't like to be around too many people, too much noise, because it makes me nervous. And always and every time that I compete on Olympia or even Arnold Classic or on any professional show, I'm always hiding to one corner, dark, no noise. I put some music and start pumping up, and that's me. And that's why people, oh, Gustavo's cooking. No, it's just I'm different. But every time that I went to any show, I always look everybody, respect everybody. But I said everybody is beatable. Here, nobody is a superhero. Even Ronnie Coleman was the best condition ever. He lost, with Gunter, and he lost with Jay, and he lost challenge round. So I said, okay, Ronnie won so many times, but what about you have to respect the other people that come in? And that's all I had to say about this. It's just I respect everybody. I'm just trying to be the best on the Olympia stage. That was my concern. That was everything in my mind. It's like when you boxing, you fighting, you training, and everything. You want to be the best. The same thing happened with bodybuilding. I did good. Probably I didn't beat Ronnie Coleman, the Miss Olympia, or Jay Cutler, but I did really good. I was third place on the Olympia, and I was really happy with it.
Any of those, and I asked this to a lot of guys, any of those where you think you felt like you should have got a higher placing?
Well, 2005 and 2005, I won the challenge round, and the people don't like a challenge round. They say, oh, that's stupid, that's this. Because, well, I won the challenge round. Everybody can say whatever. If you ask me about challenge round, say, was it the best thing? They never did. Why? Because it was wide open. Who were the judges? The judges was all Miss Olympia in the past history. Ronnie, Dorian James, Lee Haney, and Francine, Franco Columbus, Sergio Oliva was alive too. And there was the judges, and the judging, and when the judging, they found that Gustavo and Ronnie were tired of the challenge round, and we went to the kind of overall between me and Ronnie, and I beat it. I mean, they put me in the first place, and they gave me $20,000, $25,000 on the prize, and said, is this important or is not important? Is bullshit or is not bullshit? Obviously, it's bullshit for people who lose, but he's a big thing for me because I win $20,000. I'm $20,000 richer, and I beat Ronnie Coleman. Like it or not, it's gonna be there forever. People don't like it because probably they don't expecting that shit happens. Because they don't expect, fucking Puerto Rico coming here and beat Ronnie. Hell no. But I did.
Yeah.
As people say, oh, Gustavo. And everybody's talking about, oh, challenge round is a bullshit. It's bullshit. Ask me. Well, you don't ask me. I had the fucking $25,000 in my hand. It's a beautiful challenge round. And after 2005, disappeared challenge round for any reason. Probably Gustavo Badell always wins because I beat Jester Jackson 2004. In 2004, the rule was win the challenge round, win the Miss Olympia. Which is Ronnie won the challenge round and America was Miss Olympia. 2005, they changed the rules. I won the challenge round, now they changed the rules.
Yeah, I see. And then after that, they got rid of it.
Yeah, because it's wide open. When I respect everything because I respect every show because they all show are good. I respect every judge. I know the judging is not an easy job. It's really hard. But open the challenge round, giving opportunity to fair opportunity to everybody the same. Because sometimes Miss Olympia, you see the top 5, top 10 guys, they have big names on the sport. But what about those new coming guys? People don't talk too much about those guys. But what about those guys that look as good as those top 5? And probably they don't call them. The judging, they have a lot of hard work, especially in Miss Olympia. But I believe that challenge round was something unique. And all the people love it. The fans love Miss Olympia. Challenge round. The fans love it. All fans all over the world. And believe me, it was a great thing they happened. The sport for just 2 years, but was something good, something fresh, but it's different than everybody expecting because the judges in the moment 2005 was the ex Miss Olympia, and they say, okay, the judges they don't work basically they don't work for nothing. They call in and say they asking they make invitation to be a judge, but they don't follow any protocol. They don't follow. They say, okay, it's like you invite me to be a judge, and they put 5 guys. It's okay for me. This is the first, second, third, fourth. That's what they did, and at the end, I was the winner. That's what happens. And I think it was very clear for everybody. It's just not too many people love it. I like it, but I did, and I think it was a good thing for the sport. It was over after this. Yes. Why the reason? I don't know. You need to ask those people that they remove it.
Well, they do what do they do now? The People's Champion now, but that's a little bit different. I know I don't know how that's awarded because.
Well, this is just the people when you go to the Miss Olympia, they give opportunity to press buttons and everything. It's like fans, they count. When the fans vote for the whatever artist or singer, I don't know. They're doing the same thing. It's more like for the fans, but the challenge round was different because the challenge round they judging, they posing each other. It was a different story, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm pulling up all your competitions here. Do you know exactly how many competitions you did?
No.
As a pro? No. There's quite a few. I won't count all of them. But I was interested here in 2002. You did Mr. Olympia. You got 24th.
Yes. It was the first time they qualified for the Miss Olympia after they got 3rd place in Toronto Pro Show in Toronto, Canada. So I went to Miss Olympia for first time. I saw those guys, the huge guys on the lineup. I think I was waiting like my weight was like 220 or 219, 215. And it was really good for me that day. Was was a dream come true. Was the first time competing in the Miss Olympia, and I was the last. And we were 25 competitors for that show, and I got 24th. And the guy who beat was one guy who died same year. I don't know. The guy is I want to call the guy who died. I don't remember the name of the guy. Yeah,
I wouldn't know without looking it up.
Yeah, I was the last place. I was the last place on the Miss Olympia. I was so happy. I was so happy being there with all those Miss Olympia.
Yeah. Well, my question is I guess I'm assuming you took 2003 off from the Olympia, and then you came in 04. and then you got third place. So what happened in 2003 to go from 24th to third place?
Well, I'm a hard worker by myself, but until 2003, I never have coach before. And then 2003, I went to the Olympia, and actually, it was the first time I met Milos Sarcev.
Mhm.
Milos, I was always looking for Milos as a coach, but Milos still, he was competing at that time, and so I said, no, I don't want to get a coach that he's still competing because it's gonna be my, I don't
Yeah.
think it's fair. And I'm looking for Milos when he said he retired in 2003. I went to Miss Olympia and I found Milos and I said, Milos, why don't you help me out? And he said, oh, it's my honor, it's my honor. Why did you come to me before? He said, because before you were competing, you were competitor. So I don't want to, hire another coach that he's my competition too.
Mhm.
So I'm still doing, in that moment, 2003, I'm still working with Milos. He coaching me for 3 months. And at the end of after the Olympia was September, October. And we went to Ironman 2004. It was the first time me and Miller worked together in the show in the California, the Ironman show.
Mhm.
My condition with his help and everything, and it was really, really good because I always work hard, but I never those final details, water and everything, all the carving off. And I always miss the point, my condition. And with Milos was just more like perfect, and I got just great condition. The size always good because I always work heavy and hard. And food, I'm always, military, eating and supplements. I'm a guy I never did drugs, I never drink alcohol, I never go to bed before, after 10 p.m. So I'm very strict with my diet and everything. So we found working together was a very, very good stuff. Actually, 2004, I went to Ironman. I got third place after Dexter's and Lee Priest. Oh, no, Dexter and Chris Cormier.
Mhm.
And then went to San Francisco, got third place too. Then they invited me at the last minute to Arnold Classic. I got seventh place, and I qualified straight to the Miss Olympia 2004. What happened is since February was the Ironman every year until September, I increased my muscles. Milos knows better my metabolism and my body, how to respond. And we put in more and more and more size. We put in more calories and more and more and more. And my body's still responding for good. And Miss Olympia was like 15 pounds bigger and better, everybody was surprised. But nobody asked me how long you been training, how hard your workout is, how your calorie intake is. I've been always doing really, really good. It's just I always miss my condition. I always miss the point at the last couple of weeks before the show because I didn't know. I never knew how to handle it. Water, diuretics, all that kind of stuff, carb up, all that kind of stuff. I never tried diuretics in my life. And I start doing different things, and my body responded really good. And that was Miss Olympia was the best because 2004, they actually, I remember that day at the pre-judging, they called me the fourth or fifth call out, which they're looking for top 20, top 15. I every time they start posing, and it's getting better, bigger, drier, and then from 20s. They call me when they call out the top four, that's the fourth call out with those people. And then they call me when they call out the second call out. And then until they put me with Dexter Jackson. Dexter Jackson was favored to be third place. The Miss Olympia 2004. And the Miss Olympia 2004, they created for first time the challenge round. It was gave me an opportunity to do challenge round and beat Dexter Jackson for first time. And then I got third place because the number Dexter original was third place. I was fourth, and we switched places because the challenge round. That was the story about the first time that I did round.
I think Dexter won what 08? I think he won Olympia.
Yes, Dexter won. I actually have a situation because Dexter came to Puerto Rico to do my guest post in my classic, Gustavo Classic in Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
And I saw Dex and I said, this is the first time that I see you like this, Dex. You're gonna beat these guys. You're gonna beat them. I was included because I was on diet too.
Mhm.
And then we were eating together. And I remember exactly in the restaurant, I ordered chicken breast with broccoli and sweet potato. And he ordered, fried steak with fries, with French fries and barbecue sauce and cake. It's shit, Dex, are you eating all this like that? Yeah, yeah, I don't do that. I don't want to eat what you're eating. That's nasty. So, wow, I've been doing this for 5 months. I have to do that long period for me and my kind of metabolism work that way.
Mhm.
And so they said, fucking you 8 weeks out. And I was expecting to select how he looks in my show after the guest posing.
Mhm.
The guy who looks fantastic, straight all over, great, full. I said, Dexter, you're gonna beat the Miss Olympia. You're gonna beat first. So you think? I know.
Yeah.
I don't talk too much, but I know. Obviously, I want to win too. But
Mhm.
it was really, really, really good that year. And I said, you can ask Dexter. I was the first guy who said, Dexter, you want to win this year.
Mhm.
He remembered because after he won, he texted me and said, you're right. You was the first one who said that.
Yeah. He tell me he owes you dinner.
Yeah. It's a dinner.
Yeah.
So envy, fries, French fries. But you know what? It's just, there's a different kind of metabolism,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
People that have it, they eat it, get shredded, and some others like me, we need to go like 4-5 months, dieting and cardio and everything to get to that condition.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, did you do a lot of guest posing?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Did many guest posing.
Overseas a lot? Did you go on like the European tour and all that?
Yeah, because I went to Italy, Spain, all Europe,
Mhm.
South America, Central American, and Italy, yes, because a lot in Italy because I speak Italian too, and I have,
Mhm.
my kids from Italy,
Mhm.
and I love that. But I went to all places, and I love it. I love it. I try to always do guest posing and seminars because I'm a kind of guy about explain about bodybuilding. I'm always a guy I like to science behind bodybuilding,
Mhm.
nutrition, supplementation, training, everything. I always like to to teach people, and I always like to learn from the best. I think I've been doing this all my life, and I'm still doing it.
Mhm.
I'm still doing like seminars, clinic appearances. I'm not posting no more. I don't get posting, but I'm still traveling, doing more seminars and teaching people how eating, how to trying
Mhm.
to get and build a good structure for bodybuilding. That's
Yeah.
what I do.
What was your favorite country that you've been to?
Man, there's so many good countries. I mean, when you're
Yeah.
talking about bodybuilding, bro,
Yeah, they love bodybuilders over there, man.
Italy, you come to other countries that you don't speak the language, doesn't matter. When
Mhm.
you get the muscles, everybody happy.
Mhm.
It's like a big, huge family. We always speak different languages, but we always speak once in common.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I enjoy every country, man, every city. People are so grateful they having you. For you are a star, a superstar, and I enjoy it. It was a great time for me too, and I have a lot of good memories. I don't see if I recall country. I think Italy, one of my best because I think it's because I have a lot of friends and family there. But England is really great too. Belgium, Spain is really good. Even here in Mexico, it's beautiful. And
Mhm.
it's just different culture. But like I said, they respect bodybuilding a lot. And because you top three of the sport, top five, top 10, they respect what you did.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah, I competed in Ireland probably 4 or 5 years ago, and you would have thought I was the president walking around there. And I'm a big guy. I'm very tall. I'm like 6'4", so I was, 6'4", 280 pounds. Everybody was looking at me like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can tell you about those guys from Ireland. I went to Waterfall. I went to Waterfall Island,
Mhm.
and you know who collect the money to bring me there? People who work on the taxis. And the moment that doesn't exist over
Mhm.
it's just a taxi. They make a collect and they send me the money, send me the ticket, and I went to Ireland. It was a great time in Ireland too. They love bodybuilding over there.
Very
They
much, very much.
they believe me. They treat me. Actually, I remember those guys I was like for 4 or 5 days. Every day they invite me to a different house, and they cooked for me, and the family wait for me, and everybody was like waiting for Gustavo. That was fantastic. The people there, I love those people from Ireland too.
Yeah, every restaurant I went into after I was done competing, I went on a whole restaurant tour, and all my food was paid for every time I went somewhere.
No, they love food and they love
Yeah,
beer. Everybody drinks beer.
yeah, I don't drink, so I mean, I had a couple, but
Me
yeah,
neither. Was a good
yeah, yeah.
sport.
So, what did the couple questions? What did the average guest posing pay back then? And like, I guess that was probably around '05 or something like that. What were they paying you to guest pose?
Well, it all depends. You know, when you talk
Yeah.
with Olympia, obviously you want to charge more.
Mhm,
In my case, it was between 3,000, 5,000.
mhm.
It was the average.
Yeah, and then were you sponsored?
Yeah, always. I'm
Yeah.
always with Muscle Tech. I worked like 10 years with Muscle Tech.
Mhm,
I did a lot of Muscle Tech got me a sponsorship since I was an amateur.
mhm.
I become pro, starting giving something and supplements, and I was growing, and Muscle Tech was with me all the way.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
How
was.
about? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was with them, and then I signed with Muscular Development.
Mhm.
Then signed with Joe Weider, and
That was going to be my next question, Joe Weider.
yeah, I was with Joe Weider a couple of years, and after that, I have a contract with Muscular Development. They treat me really well. Basically, as just
Mhm.
that's a good thing, you know. When they call you and they offer you contract, it's because you know you're doing good. It's I don't want to say it was fantastic, but it wasn't bad. It was really good. They respect me and they give me what I ask, and whatever they ask from me, I give it to them. I think we have a very good relationship with everybody because I always respect contracts. You know, when you make a contract and you have a sponsorship, you have to do whatever you know you sign for.
Mhm.
So that's why I said that's why I had 10 years with Muscle Tech and a lot of years with different magazines.
Now, did you guys? And I don't think I've ever asked this before. Did you guys have attorneys, or did you have an agent that would look at these contracts,
Oh
or they were just kind of simple?
no, it was simple. It was really
Okay.
simple. It was really simple. You know, it's not like basketball, baseball. There's
Yeah.
much money around. You know, it's not that time. It's just they offer you what they offer you. They're asking for photo shoot. They're asking for appearances and everything.
Mhm,
It was very simple. You don't need a lawyer for those things.
mhm.
Not too many. There's not too much money. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, you can have it if you want it, but in my case, I didn't. I just signed the contract. I checked my contract, me and my family, and that's it. That was a good thing. It was always just happy to be, a contract to have a contract with Joe Weider. Everybody want to be part of Joe Weider and everything. And at that moment, I was a kid, and I said, oh, okay, I was 20 something. Okay, it's beautiful. And I always loved this sport. It's my passion. And now receiving money, the golden thing.
Mhm,
It's a great thing, really.
mhm. How was Joe Weider? I've asked a lot of the guys this, and
I
some
met
people have
Joe,
mixed emotions.
I think when I met Joe Weider it was really old, but I have a very good moment with Joe, and one of those shows he came to me. It was really old, but he grabbed my arms and it showed me your arms and showed me my arms and said, okay, move it like this, and he showed me how to do it to pose better, and that's a great moment that I have with Joe Weider.
Mhm.
Great moment.
How long were you signed with him?
2 years.
Okay. Hmm. Let's see. You started your pro. When did you go? When did you start doing pro shows? The late '90s. Did Vince McMahon contact you?
I become pro 1996. Well, honestly, I won my first pro card 1993,
Okay.
but I was 21, and I didn't have that size to jump to pro. Like I said, living in Puerto Rico, give me the opportunity to compete in U.S. Well,
Mhm,
that time, no. Listen to this. I called Jim Manion, and Jim Manion said, "No, you Puerto Rico, you're not allowed to come to national because national they have a lot of restriction in the old days. I don't know if you remember those days.
No, I don't. I don't.
Yes, you have to be living in the U.S. No U.S. territory because I was living in Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
You had to live in U.S. You had to be U.S. citizen, and la 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 la. And I was living in U.S. but territory. So I said, no, you have to go Central American Championship. Remember, IFBB was two: IFBB International and IFBB Pro League. They
Mhm.
were, family at that time. So they
Mhm.
respect certain, geography. If you live in Puerto Rico, you compete Central America. You live in States, you can come to nationals.
Mhm.
And I went to US many times. I come to US. I didn't live. I live in Puerto Rico. I came here, California, Boston's, New York. I competed in many NPC shows, and I won an NPC show like through 3 or 4. But I never competed national because I was living in Puerto Rico at that time. And
Yeah.
for me, it was easier to go to Central America Championship, compete with Jamaica, Barbados, uh, uh, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and all those islands from the Caribbean. So it was easier for me. Actually, when I got my pro card, 1996, the guest poser was Flex Wheeler.
Oh wow.
Flex Wheeler was guest posing, and I won overall, and I get my pro card. And he congratulated me and said, "You're going to do well in pro class." He
Mhm.
said he was competing. He was obviously Flex was in his prime. It looks fantastic, and he said that to me. It was really really cool.
Yeah. Have you been in touch with him since he had his medical issues or anything like that?
Oh no, I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
I don't. It just I think I let the people. Sometimes there's people ask for privacy. I don't know what I feel or something, but
Yeah.
he's always gonna be my brother, and he always in my prey too.
Mhm. Yeah.
Him, Chris Cormier the same way, Sean Way the same way. I don't have any problem with nobody in the sport.
Mhm.
Really. And just like I said, I probably a little bit, I don't. I'm that kind of guy always by myself, doing my things,
Mhm.
busy. But I like everybody, and everybody treat me well. I always remember those things.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm the type of person where I'm very quiet and like you put me in front of a crowd of people and I don't like it, but this podcast is different. I guess because it's just usually just one-on-one.
I can't
So
do this. It's just I can't do this. I can't do this with you.
yeah,
And I can do a seminar with 1,000 people. I've been doing seminars with people, with doctor, everything.
yeah.
You see me and I'm in control. But if you invite me to a place that was 1,000 people and I'm not speaking, I'm not on stage, I get nervous. I get, I don't want to talk. I don't want to go. It's kind of personality. I've been there.
Mhm.
I feel like this all my life. So as I said, there's a little bit of autism that I have, but
Yeah.
too much noise. And when I go to the expo, I was always nervous or something. That's why. But I think it's when I talk like this, it's not a problem. When I talk doing seminar, me with a microphone, talking to people, it's good. But when I'm in the middle of something, a lot of people talking at
Mhm.
the same time, I got a little. I had to go.
Mhm.
That's why I never went to club. I never went to discotheque. I never went to party because I'm avoiding too much noise.
Yeah. Now, when you would guest pose, especially in foreign countries, that had to have been stressful because there are thousands of people compared to where they are here.
Yeah, I always had to take something.
Yeah.
I always,
Yeah. Because I know they used to. You guys went down into the crowd and flexed for people and stuff like that.
it's really, yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard. And being posed, guest posing is yeah, like you're right. But you guest posing and people start screaming, but you go. I mean, you pose, they
Mhm.
take a picture with 20, 30 guys, and then you go. I think that's what I did well. I did a lot of guest posing, no problem. No
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah. I asked you before, I don't know if you answered or not. Vince McMahon, he was starting his bodybuilding stuff around your time. Did he ever contact you?
No.
No, the wrestling guy, Vince McMahon. I think that was the late 90s, early 2000.
I have a just the only I have uh people from Warner Brothers. They invite me to Hollywood to do some casting because they like my appearance, they like the way I look, they
Mhm.
like my physique. But I didn't do it because at that time I was married with my wife was very jealous and said, "No, don't go." But I have this to tell the people because I have that opportunity. They invite me twice to go to Hollywood for the casting, and I never went. But it was cool, to have invitation. You check the emails and you say, okay, this is Hollywood. They want to see you and whatever. But no, he never contacted me. No.
Now, your last show, it says here, is the Arnold Classic, 2012. Is that right?
I guess, yes.
That says, so 2010, 2011, did you take those years off and you just decided to come back in 12 or what?
I started getting injury and I have a situation. I have a health situation because I was doing something and apparently I have bad luck and I have bacteria in my system and I went to almost die. I went to Argentina to do a seminar and coaching one of my athletes, which is the athletes won the show. And I went in summer for us, like was July. It was really hot in here. And I went short, tank top. When you get there, they have a different weather from us. Right now, South America, it's really cold, like winter. And I got sick. I got some throats infection or something. And I started having fevers and I went to the hospital and I collapsed. And they found out they have some situations on my system and they have some kind of bacteria and something. And I'm guessing because nobody talked about this, but I'm guessing there was whatever they're using at that time, it was a little bit infective or something and gave me some bacteria and almost killed me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I never said this to people because I didn't
no, I didn't know that. Yeah.
No, nobody knows that because it's a personal thing. When you have a personal thing, you don't want to tell them, hey, this is what happened to me. No, I tell most of the people when I had to tell a story about watch out what you're taking, watch out what you're using it, because whatever you're using from the black market sometimes can't kill you, and that thing is just because it happened to me. And when I tell the people, oh, this happened to you, yeah, it happens to me. That's why I tell you, watch out, carefully.
Yeah.
But it's not a thing that I have the secret. No, I almost died. And the thing is, a lot of people make mistakes. My mistake was trust some certain people. They gave me, my supplies, and black market is black market. You know what it is.
What do you miss the most from competing?
Man, just being on stage is just one kind of sensation that is forever, man. It's just be 10 minutes, 15 minutes on stage, especially in Miss Olympia. It's like you feel like superstar for life. And I miss those things. I miss a lot being on stage, competing, the adrenaline, the people are reacting when they see you, the competition, the rivalry with the other athletes. It's a great thing. I love this sport. And that's why like people say, oh, okay, you stop competing, forget about bodybuilding. No, I love this. I'm still working with my clients and athletes just to help them to achieve their goals. And I start feeling like the same, a little bit thing, not the same, but certain positive things, like being on stage, like, I work with you and you be on stage and you're winning or whatever, you look good. I feel proud and I feel the same kind of, feeling that make me feel so happy, about that.
These guys, because and we'll get to where you train at and your personal training and stuff, and these people in these gym that see you, they just don't realize that at one time you were the top 3 bodybuilder in the world.
Well, because I never mentioned, and I always treat people, the same. I never had that ego problems that many bodybuilders have. I always, people look at me and sometimes they got to the gym and they're looking for trainers. And they don't know who I am. Obviously, I look like I weigh 220s. I don't weigh 280s. 280, 270 was my off season, weight. And they don't know who I am because I have long beard, I have my glasses and everything. And then we realize, like, oh, I'm sorry, coach, you are Gustavo Badell. Man, I'm a normal guy like you and everybody else. It's just people respect me very much, but I'm not having no label on me. Hey, this is me. No, I want a good athlete and good competitor, but I'm still doing bodybuilding. I'm still doing coaching. Still doing training people. Even when I have a Joe Weider contract, I'm still get up and working up at 5 in the morning to train my clients. I never was like that kind of people that I'm a superstar. Now, no, I always I have my feet on the air. I have family, I have kids, I have to work like normal work, even receiving a good check monthly for Muscle Tech and for Joe Weider. I'm still have a, my job, my training people, my coaching people, and I always doing that. I'm still doing this. That's why I'm busy. Like people say, hey, where you been? Working. I'm still working. I'm still doing the same thing. I mean, it's just I'm not traveling because what's the purpose? If I bring any athletes, yes. If you're gonna do any show like appearances or inviting any company, I go. If not, I don't have to go. I'm not. What's the purpose? I have family. I have kids. I have I have a good life.
Now, do you keep in touch with Ronnie or Jay? You ever talk to them?
No. Definitely, I saw Jay Colombia like after what happens to me, and he treat me really good, like a brother always. And Dax is the same way. And but I know Ronnie. No, Ronnie. I always, in my pray too, because Ronnie is one of the best Miss Olympia ever, and I respect Ronnie a lot. So I always wish him the best. But I never have opportunity to, meet him again. But definitely he's in my pray too.
Yeah. Well, you're doing something right. You look great. Look healthy, and you. I interviewed Jean-Pierre Fuchs. You remember him, and I think you guys are tied for the best hair in a retired bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He still has his hair. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah. He said he was on stage and he'd look around and he was the only one with hair.
Yeah, no, I still my hair. And actually, I had to go cut my hair twice a week. I mean, once every 2 weeks because it grows so fast. I think it's just genetic, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being healthy, I think is my main concern, because it's just when you do bodybuilding for competition, it's one thing. When you do bodybuilding naturally, you're just keeping in condition, keep acting properly, stimulating your hormone through the heavy workout, heavy squat or deadlift or something like this. It's different. Obviously, you don't want to work the same level when you're taking everything, but when you're off products and everything, it's just the body responds really good. And the thing is just that's what I do. People said, "Oh, but bodybuilder, you're still doing squat with 3 plates." He said, "Well, I like it. It's keeping me, my hormones, motivated, stimulated. It's just I'm at age. I'm not taking TRT like most of the people. My hormone function is okay." And God for that, because after being bodybuilder at that level that I was, and be taking good things, and thank God after all this year everything goes back to normal, and still my hormone function working properly is at my age, and after everything that I did, I'm a lucky guy. I can say the doctor said it's because of my lifestyle and my instructor, and I said, well, I'm a bodybuilder. I can't change those things.
Where'd you get the name Freakin Rican from? I meant to ask you that at the beginning.
It was Lonnie Tipper. Ironman. It was MC.
Yeah. I know the name. Yeah.
No, he called me. He was in California for the Ironman and said, "Man, you look fantastic. You look so good, Gustavo. Congratulations. Big change from one year to another. Man, you're freak, man. You're freaking. You coming from Rica? Yeah, I live in Puerto Rico. Ah, you're freaking Rican." And he said, "Can I mention that name? Do whatever you want. What can I say?" He said, and then he always presented people. Ironman was one of my favorite shows, and always. Ironman was a great show. And he always presented people, giving the best, the name, nicknames, presentation, everything. And he started creating that name. He started doing, this is Freakin Rican, Salvador. Everybody like Freakin Rican. People call me, say, "Oh, this is the respectful." Well, yes, it's bullshit. It's just a good thing. I mean, I don't mind. It's just people call me that way. I don't think they're calling it back to respect me. It's just because I look good, and then people surprise me because the way I look, because it was a big changes from 2000, 2002, 2004. It was like, wow, Gustavo is a different person, different bodybuilders, and I was lucky and I was happy with it. Well, what's Lonnie People? What's the guy?
Yeah, and just think how many magazine covers that name was on.
Well, U.S. like a 5 or 6, but overseas 20s, 30s.
20s, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You know, you have a cover. You have a cover in here in the U.S. Definitely, you have a cover everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
South America, Europe, Asia,
Mhm.
Arabic countries.
Now, do you want to tell where you're training at? Are you taking clients, or we don't have to. That's up to you.
I'm doing. I have too much clients now, but
Okay. Yeah, we won't mention.
training now. Everybody knows what I train. It's just I'm not taking more clients because I'm taking just a capacity of 20 people all the time, and that's what I have right now. So, but what I do is every couple months I do like virtual seminars. I do some kind of seminar to the people to try to teach people they don't know the basic things about bodybuilding because we're here and we have the knowledge, we have the information in here in US. Is believe me, some country, poor country, South America, Central America, they don't have clue about nothing. Sometimes they make a really crazy mistakes and because they don't have the information. So and because I speak the languages, for me it's easier and there's nobody close to me at that level that can educating people about bodybuilding,
Mhm.
become, trying to make a better bodybuilders, creating better, a way to give them more information and knowledge and everything. I think it's just that's what I'm doing.
Mhm. Very good. Well, any last words of wisdoms for guys like myself who aspire to be like you, who want to be on that Olympia stage one day?
Well, anything is possible. Anything is possible. I mean, I don't expecting people telling you that you can't because you're too tall. No, you it's definitely you different. But being tall, like I remember Counter Kirken was as tall as you, and it looks fantastic. And there's a lot of tall guy in the past and the old days they look great. It just you have to bring the full package. And the full package is just that: the harmony, symmetry, balance, definition, size, and everything. In every pose you're hitting looks good. It's just I think that's why they call me the challenge around guy because always when you challenge round, I don't know if you remember, you have opportunity to pose with each competitor at the top 6, and
Mhm.
you have to figure it out what's the best gun, what the best possibility you have for any pose, and you have to be smart and say, okay, with the X-ray, probably most muscular pose with the X-ray. The X-ray is good, it's really great, but I think it was a little bit bigger. With Jay, with this, I lost with Jay. But most of the people, Victor, Marcus Rule, Gontiel Kirkan, Ronnie Coleman, like I said, nobody is totally perfect. You make perfection. That's what we bodybuilders. We build muscles. You have to mentally create. Say, okay, I'm 6'4". I had to create that illusion on stage because they say, okay, you got to be bigger, 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 bigger. Bigger sometimes not better. That was Ronnie become one of the best Hall of Fame for the whole history of bodybuilding because Ronnie have the size, incredible size, but they have structure.
Mhm.
Small way, somehow it's huge. Small way creating, X frame and the same thing, everybody can do. I mean, I wasn't as big as Ronnie, but I said, okay, I wasn't as big as Ronnie or Jay. They have something on me because they have more size. But what about definition? What about being more dry? What about being harder and harmony and that kind of illusion that I try to bring when every time they hit every pose, I look muscle all over, my hamstring looks incredible, my side chest look good, my biceps, and I try to hit every pose the same way. That's why practice and practice and practice and then and like I said, everybody have opportunity to be a Mr. Olympia. Then you need to get whatever you need, whenever knowledge, science to apply to you to get to that point. I know this, bodybuilding is a science, and there's a lot of coaches with different philosophy. It's
Mhm.
just try different coaches, trying to see who can help you out to achieve your goals. And don't marry with nobody. It's just you have to jump from one to another. This is what I did. I worked with Millers, then I worked with Chris Aceto, then I worked with Honey Rainbow, then I worked with Chuck Nichols. I worked with the best of the best coaches in the U.S. and they teach me, they tell me something, but I try to looking for more knowledge, more who got more things to share. And I found out that your body is unique, and you have to make sure what you need to do to bring up those muscles. Probably you train hard, you train heavy. Okay, you got to be smart. Probably stretching a little bit more, do a little bit, use different principles, rest pause, slow down, superset, whatever you need to do to bring out those muscles. That's what I did. I always when I was competing in Miss Olympia, I always think about this. What I had to improve this because Milos or even Chad or even Chris Acero or Hani, they told me, oh, I do this, but I know something that they don't. My metabolism is mine. My effective, because you send me to do something and I see what happened in my body. If it works, I know. If it doesn't work, I know. No matter what they telling me, I pay them, no problem. I'm friend of that. But you learn something. If I give you some concept to you, they say, Jason, do this, and you find out that, oh, probably if I do a little bit adjustment, whatever Gustavo said to me, and then what about I create something that works for me? You're creating your own concept. Open your mind. Don't give up. Nobody have all truths. There's a lot of things, concept on the table. Just keep looking until you find the perfect formula for your own physique. That's my advice, just for you, for everybody, and that's what I do with all my clients.
Mr. Gustavo Badell, the Freakin Rican. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and I wish you the best for you, and see you around, because we live in the same.
Yeah, I'm definitely now that I know where you're at, I'm going to definitely come see you.
Anytime. I'll be here, whatever you need.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Bye.